I don't want to call him out. I want to call out the belt. If he has the belt, of course we're going to fight for the belt. If he goes up in weight class, I'm going to fight for whoever got the belt. My goal is the belt, is not Khamzat Chimaev.
And that's the only thing that Pereira does. He waits for you to make a mistake, or he waits for you to get in or come in, and then he hooks you. What else can he do? And that stupid low of his, what else can he do? He's in the clinch, he's on the floor, he's in grappling. And we saw him getting out. Ankalaev did a pretty good job of outboxing him, out kickboxing him.
If Nassourdine is the one to fight Khamzat, how do you think he does?
I don't know how anyone beats Khamzat at the moment.
Yeah.
Honest, yeah.
He's a menace, man. After
Honestly,
that Frickers fight,
his wrestling is so high level.
Thoughts on future middleweight title fight? It looks like that was the other thing.
I think Khamzat versus Imavov, but I'm not going to just cancel out Imavov now because his takedown defense, if he can take away the wrestling from Khamzat, he'll give him problems. That's what you have to do. Khamzat can strike, but I see what I see. But his wrestling is his main weapon, and he commits a lot to the wrestling. He gets the grip, he takes people down, keeps them down. So if Nassourdine can get past that, he'll give Khamzat problems. Or right now, Khamzat's on point. He's got the momentum behind him, and so does Imavov. Who's going to win? We'll see.
Nassourdine Imavov has defeated Baralo at UFC Paris and is now just one step away from a title fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Dana White has already stated that Chimaev's next challenger could come from either the Reinier de Ridder versus Anthony Hernandez fight or the Nassourdine Imavov versus Baralo matchup. He emphasized that both bouts carry huge significance for the middleweight division and will determine who gets the next shot at Chimaev's belt. In the main event, Reinier de Ridder is set to face Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez in a 5-round clash between middleweight contenders. Dana White described it as a badass fight and added that the Paris event featuring 2nd-ranked Imavov and 7th-ranked Baralo was equally important. With Vancouver coming up just weeks later, White noted that the results of these fights will ultimately shape the path to the next middleweight challenger for Khamzat Chimaev's newly won title.
In the main event, it's a 5-round fight between middleweight contenders Reinier de Ridder and Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez. That is a bad fight. And obviously next month in Paris, we have another top middleweight contender fight between number 2 ranked Imavov and 7th ranked Baralo. And then Vancouver is a few weeks later. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. And we're going to end up with a middleweight challenger for Khamzat Chimaev's title that he just won. So these fights have massive implications.
After his victory, Nassourdine Imavov took the microphone and addressed Chimaev in a respectful way. He congratulated him on his success at UFC Paris, but clarified that his goal is not to call out Khamzat personally, it's the belt he's after. Imavov stressed that it doesn't matter who holds the title, his aim is to become champion. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations on your victory and on the belt. I'm not calling out Khamzat. I'm calling out the belt. If he has the belt, of course we'll fight for it. If he moves up a weight class, I'll fight whoever holds it. My focus is on the title, not on Khamzat himself.
Nassourdine Imavov, listen, congratulations, brother. And final message for Khamzat Chimaev.
Félicitations, je suis content pour lui. Il a gagné la ceinture. C'est quelqu'un que je connais, je sais que tu t'attends à un... Je suis le prochain pour combattre pour la ceinture. Est-ce qu'il aura toujours la ceinture à ce moment-là? Est-ce que peut-être qu'il va monter de cateau ou descendre? Parce qu'il parlait. Il m'a pas call-out, donc j'ai pas envie de le call-out. Je veux juste combattre contre la ceinture et je call-out la ceinture. C'est vraiment à mon tour.
Il a dit félicitations. Sorry, he said congratulations, congratulations for the victory, congratulations for the belt. I don't want to call him out. I want to call out the belt. If he has the belt, of course we're going to fight for the belt. If he goes up in weight class, I'm going to fight for whoever got the belt. My goal is the belt, is not Khamzat Chimaev.
Imavov expressed strong confidence that he will receive the next title shot and showed little concern about the upcoming de Ridder versus Hernandez bout. He pointed to his 5 victories over top 10 opponents in the past year, including 2 finishes, and argued that no one else has accomplished what he has in that span. When asked if he planned to attend the Vancouver fight, Imavov replied, "I'm the next challenger. I'm not even worried about the next fight. You have to be realistic. Nobody has done what I've done this past year. 5 top 10 opponents, 2 finishes. No one else can say that.
You said after the fight, you said there's no other option for me than the title shot. Obviously, we've got that fight in Vancouver, so will you even go out there to watch that fight, or are you just gonna stay here?
Ok, j'étais pas au courant. Enfin, j'ai vu qu'ils avaient annoncé, mais je savais pas où est-ce qu'ils combattaient. Non, c'est moi le prochain. Je m'inquiète même pas pour ce combat.
Yeah, I'm the next. I'm not even worried about the next fight. I mean, you have to be realist, and no one did what I did for the last year, and I just, 5 opponents, 5 top 10 guys, 2 finishes. I mean, no one did that.
Reflecting on his fight with Baralo, Imavov admitted he noticed Caio struggling. He explained that Baralo seemed motivated at the start of fight week, but once inside the cage, each exchange became harder for him. Imavov said it's difficult for a fighter to stay motivated when there are no openings against an opponent. Asked about Baralo's comments after the fight, Imavov said, "I could feel it. He was very motivated during the week, but once the fight started, everything became more difficult. Every time I touched him, I felt it got harder for him. When an opponent can't find solutions, it's very tough to stay motivated."
What did you think about this fight, right? Because I was listening to Kyle's interview after the fight, and he was talking about how he lost his adrenaline. He just couldn't get motivated once he was in there. And there was a certain moment in the fight, I think it was at the end of the second round, there might have been 10 seconds left, and he didn't even look towards you. There was 10 seconds left, and he kind of was already walking to his corner. So could you kind of feel him disengaging and kind of breaking down as the fight went on?
J'ai ressenti, ouais. J'ai ressenti, il était plus déterminé avant le combat. Tu sais, il y a une semaine, il était beaucoup plus déterminé. Je pensais qu'il allait me rentrer dedans. Mais voilà, à chaque fois que je le touchais, il a essayé il bougeait énormément. Il essayait d'éviter la distance de frappe.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt he was a lot more motivated a week before the fight. During the fight, it was more difficult, and I felt like every time I touched him, it was difficult for him. But when there is no solution for the opponent, it's very difficult to stay motivated.
Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker gave his take on the potential matchup between Imavov and Chimaev. He admitted he doesn't currently see anyone defeating Chimaev, pointing to his elite-level wrestling. Whittaker suggested that only someone with exceptional jiu-jitsu, on the level of Gilbert Burns, might have a chance. Still, he acknowledged that anything can happen in MMA. "I don't know how anyone beats Khamzat at the moment. His wrestling is so high-level. To beat him, you need elite jiu-jitsu, like Burns-level jiu-jitsu. Imavov has good grappling, but is it at that level? Maybe. Fights are unpredictable. Anything can happen. He could run into a knee or a kick."
If Nassourdine is the one to fight Khamzat, how do you think he does?
I don't know how anyone beats Khamzat at the moment.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
He's a menace, man, after
Honestly,
that Frickers fight.
His wrestling is so high level. You need I feel like the way to beat him is with high level jiu-jitsu. So if Imavov has high level back jiu-jitsu, which I know he does have high level jiu-jitsu, but if it's that high level, like Gilbert Burns high level, then maybe we'll see something. But I don't know. There's also, fights are funny. Anything can happen to them.
For sure.
Maybe Chimaev dives into a knee or a foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
After his dominant performance at UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev revealed his ambition to become a double champion and reach the top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings. He even hinted at dropping a weight class to challenge the winner of Islam Makhachev versus John Jones in pursuit of a second title. Asked if the pound-for-pound list mattered to him, Chimaev said, "I don't care who makes those lists, but for sure I should be number 1.
So if I was to look to the pound-for-pound list, is that a list that matters to you, and where would you put yourself?
I don't know. I don't care who does that things, so for sure it has to be number 1.
Even before UFC 319, Chimaev had made it clear he wanted to stay healthy and avoid injuries so he could continue chasing belts. He stated that he's ready for whatever challenge the UFC offers, whether defending his title or seeking another. On the subject of facing Islam Makhachev, He said it depends on the outcome of Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, noting that if Islam wins, the fight could happen quickly. It doesn't matter. I'll be ready. I hope there are no injuries, nothing to stop me. Maybe I defend the belt, maybe I fight someone else. I'll do whatever business they give me. I'll fight anyone if they pay me. Asked about the possibility of facing Makhachev, Chimaev added, "We'll see who the champ is. That's the fastest way. If he wins, then it's the fastest path to the #1 spot."
After this fight, and you become the middleweight champion, would you rather defend at 185 or try to get another belt right away?
It doesn't matter. So I will be ready. I hope there's no injury, nothing's gonna happen in the fight. So maybe defend the belt, maybe fight somebody. I'm doing my business, so it doesn't matter if they give me money. So I will fight anyone.
Is there a world where you could end up fighting Islam Makhachev at 170?
We will see who is gonna be the champ there, but it's the fastest way. If the guy wins the fight, fastest way to get the fight #1.
Kamaru Usman also voiced his interest in fighting the winner of Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. He suggested that if JDM wins the title, the best way to prove himself as the new generation champion would be to fight a top name like Usman, a former pound-for-pound king. If JDM wins, the best way to prove he's the new generation is to fight the biggest name, the former pound-for-pound guy in the division, me. If Islam wins, then it's pound-for-pound versus pound-for-pound. I've already proven myself, so I'm not worried.
If JDM defends and wins defends that title against Islam, who better than to say, okay, let's solidify him as the new generation of champion by taking on the biggest name, the former pound for pound in the division? Of course, me. And listen, and then of course, if Islam wins, pound for pound versus pound for pound fighting. I mean, I'm not really worried here. I've done my job to let them know, because they wanted to see, hey, are you still that guy? Can you still hang with these guys? Can you still do your thing? And I've done that. I went in and I've showed them that, so I'm not worried.
Chimaev, for his part, shared his thoughts on the Makhachev versus JDM fight, calling it a tough matchup, but slightly favoring Islam. It's a good fight, a tough fight, but I lean a little more towards Islam.
And who do you think is going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
The Makhachev versus JDM fight is set for November, and fans are buzzing about it, especially after JDM's recent comments warning Islam about his striking. Jack argued that Islam's stand-up is more predictable than Bilal's because he uses a single stance and a traditional style. Still, he acknowledged Islam as the pound-for-pound #1 and said the fight would be very tough. JDM explained that his approach is to study Islam's past fights closely, build a game plan, and start preparing immediately. I think Islam's striking is more predictable than Bilal's. He stays in one stance, more traditional, but he's the pound-for-pound #1, so it's tough. My plan is to study all his past fights, build a strong game plan, and start preparing right away. I'm confident I can get it done.
I mean, it's just, I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Baralo. I think his striking on the feet is, I think it's easier. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Baralo, because he's more just, he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound #1, so it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all his fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one.
Islam Makhachev admitted the fight won't be easy. He praised JDM's progress, especially his wrestling improvements, and acknowledged his performance against Baralo. While Makhachev respects JDM as a well-rounded fighter, he said the fight will reveal who the superior athlete is. It's going to be a hard fight. I saw his fight with Baralo, and he's good. Early in his UFC career, he struggled with wrestling, but now he's improved a lot. He trains with wrestlers and grapplers, and that's why he's a champion. He's good everywhere, but we'll see who's the best in the world very soon.
What do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
very soon.
Yeah.
And it's going very quick.
Islam's coach Javier Mendez responded to JDM's comments about striking, warning him not to underestimate Islam. Mendez said many fighters who thought Islam's striking was basic found out the hard way once inside the cage. If JDM thinks Islam's stand-up is easy, I hope he goes in with that belief, because he'll find out differently. Islam has destroyed strikers better than him. Don't go by what you see from the outside. Inside the cage, it's a completely different story.
JDM did an interview just, I think, this week, and he broke down that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Bilal's, because Islam has more of a traditional style for his stand-up. Do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story, because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand-up. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no. Don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different ballgame.
Michael Bisping believes an upset by JDM at UFC 322 is possible. He pointed to Jack's size, takedown defense, and clean boxing as major factors, suggesting it wouldn't shock him if Jack walked out as champion. Jack is bigger, showed he can stop takedowns, and his boxing is probably the best in the UFC. Don't be surprised if we see an upset and Jack remains champion.
So Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, that has been announced, but I tell you what, Jack Della Maddalena is bigger. He showed that he can stop takedowns. On the feet, there's absolutely no question. Jack Della Maddalena is on another level. He's probably got the best, cleanest boxing in the UFC. It wouldn't surprise me if we see an upset here and Jack Della Maddalena is still the champion at the end of the day.
Robert Whittaker also leaned toward Jack, praising his grit and toughness. He noted that Jack's striking could be the deciding factor if the fight stays on the feet, and warned that Islam might not shoot for takedowns recklessly given JDM's dangerous offense off his back. I think Jack has the X factor, the guts, grit, and determination to fight off takedowns. In a striking fight, I think Jack wins. People underestimate his jiu-jitsu too. Islam won't be as aggressive with takedowns as people think, because Jack is dangerous even from his back.
I'm going to go Jack. I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Dustin Poirier commented that Makhachev may actually be more comfortable at welterweight due to his size. He said the key will be whether JDM can keep the fight standing and control the pace. Islam is a big lightweight, so he'll probably feel more comfortable at welterweight. The fight depends on how well JDM can keep it standing and control the action. He's athletic, so it'll be interesting.
Speaking of Islam, what's your thoughts on him moving up to welterweight?
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight is going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Alexander Volkanovski praised JDM's development after his win over Baralo. He said the performance gave Jack more confidence in his takedown defense and believes that confidence will carry into the fight with Islam. Stopping Bilal's takedowns was huge for Jack. That confidence is going to carry him to another level in camp. His defense is better now, and only the top guys will even have a chance of taking him down.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Baralo was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stop and takedowns, because again, there's every fighter's still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, worried about, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, I guarantee you, if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. Only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
Colby Covington predicted a win for Makhachev, but admitted the size difference adds intrigue. He said if Islam secures takedowns, he can control JDM, but Jack's striking makes it interesting. Islam's smaller since he's a lightweight, but if he gets takedowns, he'll win. Still, Jack's hands are good, so it's an exciting fight. Odds favor Islam, and I'll go with that.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Luke Rockhold offered a different perspective, focusing on how Islam's body adapts to welterweight. He warned that moving up could affect Islam's rhythm, pace, and cardio, especially against a striker like JDM. Moving up is tough. It changes rhythm, pace, everything. Islam has to prove he can handle it at welterweight. JDM is bigger, rangier, and composed. That's a real test.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam to Poirier and JDM. JDM, he's fun to watch. So, that's going to be a great fight. He's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM, who's kind of he's secondary on that, but you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, he's definitely grown, we'll see how he carries the weight.
Jack's coach, Ben Vickers, believes Islam hasn't faced the striker with Jack's power and conditioning. He argued that Jack's knockout threat exists at every moment of the fight, from the first minute to the last. If Jack lands clean, it can be over at any moment. First round, third round, final second. His power and cardio are elite. He even outlasted Bilal, who's known for cardio. That's huge.
I just don't think Islam has the chin that Bilal has.
You feel like it's a situation where this is going to be an eventual down the line, like third, fourth round? Or do you think people might even be shocked to see it happen earlier on?
We know for a fact if Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over. So it could happen in the first minute. It could happen in the 24th minute. It could happen in the 24-minute, 59 seconds. It could happen 3 rounds in. Jack likes long fights. He likes to be in there. But obviously we're not getting paid for overtime. So if the opportunity arises, we're happy to take it. But Jack's cardio, as we saw, Bilal's reputedly the best cardio in the UFC, and Jack out cardioed him. Bilal was more tired than Jack towards the end of the fight. So Jack's cardio is exceptional, his power is exceptional, and yeah, I like the fight. I really do.
Vickers added that Islam's move up in weight may affect his gas tank and movement, since he's been at lightweight his whole career. Islam's a strong fighter, but welterweight is different. Carrying that extra weight changes things. Jack is bigger and probably stronger. We'll see if Islam can handle it over 5 rounds.
It's going to be fascinating to see what Islam looks like at this weight class. What do you think? Do you think a lot of his power, a lot of his strength translates to the division with Jack?
It's so hard to tell, to be honest. He's a big dude. He's a good fighter, you know. Jack's bigger. Jack's probably stronger. He's got more power on the feet. But I don't know what kind of fighter he's going to be. What I do know is that it's, as a fighter who's fought at 70 his whole career, this is going to be his first time in a very competitive matchup at welterweight, and it's different. It's a different, you know, it's going to be different for him. He's carrying more weight, and obviously he's had months now to prepare for this and get used to carrying the weight, but he's been fighting at lightweight for a decade, you know, so to then move up a weight class, it is different, and I don't know how that's going to affect his gas tank, his ability to move as well.
Coach Javier Mendez also admitted JDM poses a unique challenge, pointing out his timing, unpredictability, and body shots. He stressed that Islam's team must force openings instead of waiting for them. JDM mixes it up really well. Body, head, kicks. His takedown defense is strong too. We'll need a clear strategy and can't just expect him to give us openings.
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while. Yep. He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes to the body, to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then also the kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, oh, we're going to go to the ground, or we're going to, no, we got to see what he's going to give us. And we have to, we're going to have to make him give us something, because I don't know if he's going to. He's really that good.
John Wood, coach of Merab Dvalishvili, also weighed in, saying the fight is intriguing. He believes JDM holds the edge on the feet, but the fight depends on his takedown defense. If Jack can defend takedowns like he did against Belal, it's very interesting. On the feet, I think Jack has the edge, but stopping Islam's takedowns is the real test.
I like it. I think that's a great fight. I feel like if Jack can keep building upon what he did in his, you know, in against Belal, I mean, he's seen that style now from a champion, and it's, you know, very similar to what Islam's going to do. I think Islam does it a little bit better. So as long as Jack is improving and getting better and his confidence is there, it's very interesting. I feel like on the feet, you know, I think Jack's got him on the feet. It's just that obviously if that takedown defense can hold up, that's the thing.
Wood added that until someone solves the puzzle of Makhachev, he remains the favorite. You can't bet against Islam right now. His ground game is elite and his striking sets up everything. Until someone figures him out, he's the safe pick.
It's one of those things where you can't bet against Islam at this point in time until you see a chink in the armor. It's like betting against Merab. You know, you can do it. It's not a smart bet, but until someone figures out that puzzle, I don't know. Islam is a different kind of cat on the ground, you know, and his striking is not bad. You know, he's going to come at you and get you to strike, and eventually, you know, take a shot. There are some holes in his game and holes in the entries, and you know, obviously, you know, being Team Khabib, there are definitely some things that you can expose to get that win. And if Jack figures that out, I think it'd be a long night for Islam. But again, I wouldn't bet against Islam until I see somebody kind of break that code.
Israel Adesanya threw his support behind JDM, predicting he'll defeat Islam. Israel believes Islam won't be able to handle the scrambles or the resets after takedowns. He believes Jack will knock him down, and he can't wait to see it.
Della versus Islam.
Della is going to get it done. Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because his scrambles are crazy, and I feel he's going to knock him out, because I just think he's not going to be able to hang with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up, I really think he's going to get him, and I can't wait till that happens.
So that's all for today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.